Well, hey again, everyone. This is Bob from Bossrox DIY Solar. And in today's video, I'm coming up with a way to pre-charge my entire system rather than the old way which I used to do it. When I did a system shutdown, I would disconnect all my inverters and pre-charge them one at a time before hooking them back up to the power. And I don't have to shut down the system, but maybe once or twice a year, so it wasn't really too big of a deal. But then I found out that those chargers up there, those things will draw as much current as an inverter will. So, and I found that out because one time I shut the system down and was getting ready to fire it back up. I had all the inverters disconnected, so they weren't connected. And I turned the breaker on, and all of a sudden the BMS just kills the power. It was an overload just feeding the current that those chargers required to start them up. And it's a 100 amp breaker, but the overload protection on it is like somewhere above 300 amps. So those chargers took quite a bit of current to get them started up. So anyways, I had to come up with a way to pre-charge the entire system rather than having to individually go and disconnect wires and pre-charge everything, which is obnoxious. So this is what I did. And I can kick myself. I don't know why I didn't think of doing this earlier, because I mean, it was so simple. I mean, compared to all the exotic gadgetry I've got running around here, something like this should have been easy enough to think of way back a long time ago. But basically what I got here is just this old thick glass spotlight from the old days, and just a switch. That's it. Now that's a 150 amp breaker, which is total overkill. I mean, for this purpose here, all you really need is like a 10-15 amp toggle switch, or even a household light switch would be fine. Because all you're doing is you're running battery power to this light bulb up here. So I've got two wires coming off the light. One of them goes to this switch here on one side, and the other side of the switch goes to the breaker, which is connected directly to the battery. Okay. And then on the other side of the light wire, I've got that connected to the bus bar wire coming into the breaker. Okay. So that's all there is to that. And then when I get ready to power everything back up, all I've got to do is just flip the switch, and that light should glow pretty bright for a few seconds and start dimming down. And once it's dimmed down, then I know I'm ready to connect the power back up. So anyways, we're going to do a test on that and just see how that works, and hopefully it'll do what I hope it'll do. So I'm going to shut the system down for about 10 minutes to allow the capacitors to discharge sufficiently, and we'll start it back up and see what happens. Stay tuned. Okay, well now folks, this didn't work out quite like I expected. I started shooting here in the dark with my headlight on, and when I turned on the switch here, my light glowed very dim red, and it just stayed that way. It didn't go out. Now normally when I pre-charge my inverters here, I'll hook up the battery wire to it and to the battery post on the inverter, and this thing will go bright and it'll dim down very quickly. And that's what it does on all the inverters. But in this case here, it just stayed a steady low glow. And so I said, okay, well, is it put enough in the capacitors to charge them up sufficiently? So what I did is I flicked on the breaker switch here, and I heard a good pop go inside of it. So apparently that's a 150 watt bulb isn't strong enough. I need to look and see if I can find something like maybe 300 watts. So anyways, looks like there's going to be a part 2 to this story here. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.